From the Home Slice News Center, this is the Daily Slice for Monday, February 14th, 2022. I'm D. Ray Knight, and this is what's going on. Authorities are investigating a shooting and fight involving several people in Hill City. The Pennington County Sheriff's Office responded to a report of shots fired early Saturday morning at a residence on Allen Gulch Road. Authorities say several people had minor injuries that were sustained in a physical fight, but it did not appear that anyone had been shot. Multiple people were detained in connection to the shooting, and one man was arrested. Authorities say charges are pending for others. The body of a missing 17-year-old has been found. With more is Amy Rose.
The Ogallala Sioux Tribal Department of Public Safety says they have found the remains of a 17-year-old reported missing earlier this month. The remains of Shayna Youngman, afraid of his horses, were located on Friday, February 11th, north of Manderson. The Ogallala Sioux Tribal Department says her death is being investigated as a homicide, and one person of interest has been taken into custody. The identity of that individual has not been released. The Ogallala Sioux Tribal Department of Public Safety says they are investigating the incident along with the FBI, and they do not believe there to be an ongoing threat to the community at this time.
In its annual report, the Pennington County Sheriff's Office reported a rise in homicides and child pornography cases over the past year. There were 16 homicides in the county last year, after more than doubling from 6 in 2019 to 14 in 2020. Child pornography cases also rose last year, with 108 in 2021 compared to 79 in 2020. Solicitation of minor cases were also up from last year. The fight against the rise in violent crime and methamphetamine arrests also continues. Those took up 81% of drug possession arrests, up 11% since 2019. Juneteenth is finally an official state holiday in South Dakota. Amy Rose tells us more.
Governor Kristi Noem has signed a bill that makes Juneteenth an official state holiday in South Dakota. South Dakota was the last state to make June 19th a legal holiday, with North Dakota approving legislation last April and Hawaii declaring the holiday with legislation in June. Juneteenth commemorates the end of slavery in the U.S., when 3 months after the Civil War ended and 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. Word of freedom was spread to enslaved black people in Texas.
In national and international news, a federal judge on Friday blocked the Biden administration's attempt to put greater emphasis on the potential damage from greenhouse gas emissions in the federal rulemaking process. Known as the social cost of carbon, the estimate is a key component of federal rules for oil and gas drilling, automobiles, and other industries. On his first day in office, President Joe Biden restored a higher cost estimate set in 2016. The Biden administration's revival of the higher figure would make rules aimed at addressing climate change more economically justifiable. Republican attorneys general, led by Louisiana's Jeff Landry, said Biden's action illegally exceeded his authority by basing the figure on global considerations. On the Parkland anniversary, President Biden is urging Congress to take action on gun violence. Chrissy Davies has more.
President Joe Biden says his administration stands with the advocates working to end gun violence and is urging the nation to uphold what he calls the solemn obligation to keep each other safe. Biden's statement on Monday comes 4 years to the day since 17 people were killed in a shooting at Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Since the Parkland shooting, gun violence at schools has only risen. The gun control advocacy group Every Town for Gun Safety says there were at least 136 instances of gunfire on school grounds between August 1st and December 31st.
Russia's top diplomat has advised President Vladimir Putin to continue talks with the West on Russian security demands amid tensions over Ukraine. Speaking at the start of a meeting with Putin, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov suggested Russia should continue a dialogue with the U.S. and its allies, even though they have rejected Moscow's main security demands. He noted that the U.S. has offered to conduct dialogue on limits for missile deployments in Europe, restrictions on military drills, and other confidence-building measures. Asked by Putin if it made sense to continue diplomatic efforts, Lavrov responded that possibilities for talks haven't been exhausted and proposed to continue the negotiations. The LA Rams defeated the Cincinnati Bengals 23-20 to capture their second Lombardi trophy. Wide receiver Cooper Kupp was the game's MVP. And at the Beijing Winter Games, the medal count has Norway in the lead still with 21 medals, 9 of them gold. The ROC, Russian Olympic Committee, is second, and the U.S. is third with 16 medals, 7 of them gold. Your weather forecast from the Home Slice Weather Center. Partly cloudy and breezy with a high of 45. Tonight, a low of 24. And that was your Daily Slice for Monday, February 14th, 2022. The Daily Slice is a production of Home Slice Media Group, hosted by D. Ray Knight with Amy Rose and Chrissy Davies. Executive producer Mark Houston, engineered by Chris Jacquez. I'm D. Ray Knight. Have a great day.